Hey and welcome to this lesson on soloing over There Will Never Be Another You. If you missed my last couple lessons, they were on the chords and also the harmony too, so I'll put a link in the description to those if you need to get those first. What I want to look at today, I want to look at the first section, first 8 bars or so of this tune, and look at how we can incorporate the flat 7 to 3 resolution. Something I talked about a few weeks ago in relation to the 2-5-1, and I think it's something you want to try to find on these sort of chord changes, particularly the way they move in this instance. And just a reminder of the way this works. So if when you've got chords moving in fourths, say if we've got B flat minor 7 to E flat 7, if you play the chord tones B flat minor 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, the third of the E flat 7, the next chord, is just beneath it, and that will work when chords move in fourths, as we'll find out. So we're going to play over this section: E flat major 7, D minor 7 flat 5, G 7, C minor 7, B flat minor 7, E flat 7, A flat. We're going to stop there. Now, which of those chords are moving in fourths like that? So this D minor 7 flat 5 to G 7 to C is those three changes: D to G and G to C. And then B flat minor to E flat is also, and so is A flat. And that's the D minor 7 flat 5 G 7 C minor is a minor 2-5-1. The B flat minor E 7 A flat major is a major 2-5-1. And when chords move like that, this flat 7 to 3 move works. First off, we need to be really clear about what the flat 7 and the major third are. So I think let's just map out where they are and find them for this section. I'll play this and you'll get notation tab of this too. So when it's E flat, the major third of an E flat chord is G. I'm going to grab it there. And then D minor 7 flat 5, the third is F. G7, the third is B. C minor 7, the third is E flat. And then B flat minor, the third is D flat. E flat 7, the third is G again. And then but the third of the A flat chord, which that resolves to, is a C. So let's play those against the chords. Now this is valuable to do, just playing the third against it, because thirds are most indicative of the harmony, right? The difference between some chords is just the third, whether a chord's major or minor. That makes such a big difference. So being able to hear them, being able to find them is important. So let's do that first. F, then the B for the G7, E flat for the C, D flat for the B flat, G for the E flat 7, C for the A flat. That's where we're going. So you really want to be able to hear that. You play the you want to be able to hear those thirds. You want to be able to, like I'm trying to do there, sing them against the chords. Because they're really important notes. They're good notes to start your phrase on. Not that you have to always start on your thirds. I don't like rules like that. And it's not like every time a chord moves in fourths you have to do flat 7 to 3, but it's just that's a common thing we're used to hearing. It's a very acceptable way of playing over changes. Also sounds good. So it's a good thing to get, but you've got to internalize the sound of these. Next, let's find the sevenths too. So I'll put this on the screen for you and play it. So this time we're going to have the third and the seventh. So we're going to have, I'll put this on the screen for you, we're going to have G for the E flat, and then the seventh is D there. Then C is the seventh of D minor 7 flat 5. Then the next note is F, which is the third. And we go back to that seventh. Land on a B, which is the third of the G7. And F is our seventh. And then we're going to E flat there, which is the third of our C minor chord. There's the seventh, B flat up here. And then we're going A flat, which is the seventh of B flat minor. D flat, which is the minor third. And then E flat, G, which is the third of E flat. D flat, which is the seventh, which would lead us nicely to a C for the third of A flat. Now, that might take some thinking, getting your head around, but you need to know the chord tones, the notes of, you're trying to play over these standards. If that's the first chord, you need to know what the notes are of that chord, right? And thirds and sevenths are just good to target, good for practice mapping out where they are and just getting the sound of the chords into your head. Because the third, as I said, indicates the quality of the chord, major or minor. Then the seventh dictates, whether it's like a dominant seventh or major 7, minor 7, indicates the quality of the chord, right, too. So really good to get. Finishing on a C because it's the third of A flat. Let's just highlight the moves there. So in the first 2 bars it's just 3, 7, but then in this D minor 7 flat 5 bar, that you've got to look at it how it goes into the next note, right? So C, F, C, so that's 7, 3, 7, and that C is the flat 7 of the D minor 7 flat 5 chord. Semitone beneath is the third of the G7. That's what that resolution is there. And then at the end of that G7 bar, we go to back to F. Obviously, we get a closer F. That F is a flat 7, and it's a tone above E flat, which is the third of our C minor 7 chord. So you get over that, which is flat 7, 3, flat 7, 3. And in the last 2, over the C minor 7, because the C minor 7 doesn't move in the way of moving in a fourth to the B flat, we don't get a resolution like the flat 7 to 3 between those chords, but we do go in between B flat minor 7 and E flat, because we get D flat, which is our minor third of the B flat, up to the 7th, which is A flat, semitone down, there's the G, which is the third of E flat, go down to the 7th, D flat, and then beneath it is C, which is the third of the A flat chord in the next bar. So hopefully you can hear that that's not a solo yet, but it's following the harmony well, which is important with your solos. And you would attach other stuff to this, obviously. So let me put an exemplar, not saying this is a great solo, but just a little sample of this with ideas. Now, wherever there's the chords moving in fourths, I'm doing the flat 7 to 3. Where there isn't, I'm just playing a phrase. So like on the E flat major 7 chord and the C minor 7 chord. Let's just go through that phrase by phrase. I'm very aware that I have to have lunch very soon, but let's just go break it down. So that phrase is just taken from E flat major, and it starts on the and of 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Like that, which is a little bit more interesting. It finishes on an E flat, which puts us nicely placed to go down a semitone to a D, the root of our next chord. And the resolution you get between that D minor 7 flat 5 and the G7, we finish on a C, B is a semitone beneath, that's the flat 7 to 3. So that works nicely. That G7 bar finishes us on an F. Our next chord C minor 7, the third of it. E flat is a tone beneath, so that's why that's a nice move. It's much better than, say, jump into a C. What I did in those 2 bars over the C minor 7, because E flat major 7, C minor 7, they're very closely related, right? They're the relative major and minor of each other, so you can play something you play over E flat major, you can play over C minor and vice versa. So I take that idea, and just looking at the way I notated it, so I went up to a D, which is a ninth against the C minor. So that sounds pretty nice against that, and it's just a way of varying the first phrase, which was instead we got, which is just, you can tell it's born from the same phrase, which is slightly different. At the end, why do we go there? We finish on a D because D flat's beneath it, which is the minor third of the B flat minor chord. And then the simple idea on the B flat minor, just using the flat 3 and the 7th, a bit more rhythmic, then that puts us the 7th, the third, major third of the next chord, and then the finish is all about getting onto that C, which is the third of the A flat chord. Right, you got any questions, you let me know. I've got to go and have some lunch. And leave me a like, leave me a comment, Subscribe if you're new here. Jazz guitar lessons every Wednesday and Saturday. There's a link to my Buy Me a Coffee in the description if you gained value from today's lesson. Much appreciated. Until next time, you take care.